Our story opens in the dead of night, with teenager Sean Anderson desperately fleeing the police on a dirt bike. He's trespassing in a satellite facility, not to cause trouble, but to intercept a repeating encrypted signal he believes is from his long-lost grandfather, Alexander. After being caught and brought home, Sean's stern but well-meaning stepfather, Hank, tries to bridge the gap between them. Hank, a former Navy codebreaker, helps Sean crack the cipher by combining the maps from 3 classic novels, Treasure Island, Gulliver's Travels, and Jules Verne's The Mysterious Island. They reveal coordinates in the middle of the South Pacific. Seeing a rare chance to bond with his stepson, Hank agrees to fund a trip to find the island. Arriving in the tropical nation of Palau, Sean and Hank quickly realize that no sane boat captain or pilot is willing to take them to a patch of ocean known for swallowing ships whole. Enter Gabato, a highly enthusiastic but incredibly clumsy helicopter pilot looking to make a quick buck to send his beautiful, no-nonsense daughter, Kaylani, to college. Sean is instantly smitten with Kaylani. Despite the obvious structural flaws of Gabato's rickety chopper, Hank flashes a wad of cash, and the eccentric crew of 4 sets off into the perilous blue ocean, completely unaware of the terrifying weather phenomenon waiting for them. The clear skies suddenly darken as a Category 5 hurricane materializes, seemingly out of nowhere. Instead of turning back, the compass spins wildly, and Sean realizes this isn't just a storm, it's the entrance to the mysterious island. He urges Gabato to fly directly into the eye of the cyclone. What follows is a terrifying, chaotic plunge through a terrifying vortex of lightning and rushing water. The helicopter is torn apart in the raging winds, and the crew plummets into the dark abyss. They wake up, stranded on a pristine beach, battered but alive. With the wreckage of their chopper scattered across the sand, they have officially arrived. Brushing off the sand, the group ventures into the jungle. They step through a cave and are instantly greeted by a world that defies all biological logic. The island operates on Foster's rule, an evolutionary phenomenon where big things become small and small things become massive. They stumble upon a herd of miniature elephants, small enough to fit in a backpack. The awe continues as giant butterflies flutter through a canopy of oversized ferns and colossal flowers. For a moment, the danger of being stranded is completely eclipsed by the breathtaking, magical beauty of this forgotten paradise. The wonder turns to sheer terror when Sean accidentally steps on something massive. They haven't found boulders, they've stumbled into a nest of giant eggs. The group turns around to find the mother, a gigantic predatory frilled lizard. A frantic, heart-pounding chase ensues through the dense jungle. Just when they are cornered, the lizard is suddenly knocked out by a massive, swinging log trap. Out of the brush steps the legendary Alexander Anderson, Sean's grandfather. He is eccentric, wildly adventurous, and completely in his element. He welcomes his grandson with open arms, though he immediately begins trading sarcastic jabs with Hank. Alexander leads the survivors to his elaborate Swiss Family Robinson-style treehouse built high in the canopy. It's a marvel of jungle engineering. However, the joyful reunion is cut short when Hank makes a grim discovery. Examining the island's soil and tidal patterns, Hank realizes the island is undergoing tectonic liquefaction. The island operates on a 140-year cycle where it completely sinks beneath the ocean, and the process has already begun. They don't have weeks to wait for rescue. They have a matter of days, perhaps hours, before the entire landmass is swallowed by the Pacific. Their only hope of escape is finding Captain Nemo's legendary submarine, the Nautilus, which is hidden somewhere on the island. To reach the Nautilus, the group must cross the island. They trek past a literal mountain made of solid gold, which temporarily distracts a greedy Gabato, but they can't afford to slow down. Encountering a massive gorge, they realize walking will take too long. In a stroke of insane brilliance, they sneak up on a hive of giant bees and hitch a ride on their fuzzy backs. The flight is exhilarating until they are ambushed by giant white-throated needletail birds. A massive aerial dogfight takes place in the canopy, with Hank and Sean pulling evasive maneuvers to shake off the giant snapping beaks. They survive the crash landing, but Sean suffers a minor injury, forcing the group to make camp for the night. Night falls, and the group takes a rare moment to rest. Hank, trying to ease the tension and comfort a frightened Kalani, picks up Alexander's handmade ukulele. In a surprisingly tender moment, Hank sings a beautiful acoustic rendition of What a Wonderful World. It bridges the gap between the characters, showing Hank's softer side and finally earning Alexander's genuine respect. However, when they wake up the next morning, the water levels have risen drastically. The island is sinking much faster than Hank predicted. They are out of time. The group races to the cliffs, only to find the ancient, submerged ruins of the lost city of Atlantis. Alexander realizes that the Nautilus is hidden in a cavern beneath the city. With the water rising rapidly, Sean and Hank don makeshift scuba gear to dive into the flooded cavern. Navigating through the eerie, glowing underwater ruins, they finally locate the massive, rusted hull of Nemo's legendary submarine. But the Nautilus has been sitting dormant for over a century. Its batteries are completely dead, and it requires a massive jolt of electricity to start the engines. Hank realizes the only way to power the sub is to harness a charge from the island's giant electric eels. While Gabato, Alexander, and Kailani board the sub and try to ready the controls, Hank and Sean gear up with harpoons connected to copper wire. Outside the sub, a terrifying, massive electric eel descends upon them. In a high-stakes game of underwater matador, Hank manages to drive a harpoon into the eel just as it discharges. The massive surge of electricity travels through the cables, jump-starting the Nautilus. The engines roar to life just as the island begins its violent, final collapse. With the island violently tearing itself apart above them, massive chunks of rock plunge into the ocean, blocking the submarine's exit. Hank takes the helm, steering the massive vessel, while Sean mans the torpedo bay. Firing Nemo's century-old torpedoes, they blast a hole through the collapsing rock wall and breach the ocean's surface just as the mysterious island is swallowed completely by the sea. 6 months later, we see the crew safely back in the real world. Gabato is running a wildly successful submarine tour business. Kailani is going to college, and Sean is handed a new book by his grandfather, From the Earth to the Moon, setting the stage for their next great adventure.